Google and you look up the official term, it's called glossolalia. Glossolalia, right? It's a tongue that your average person cannot understand. And they believe that this is a biblical speaking in tongues. Not only that, they believe that speaking in these tongues is a sign that you have the Holy Spirit. That's another big thing. It's a sign that you have the Holy Spirit, is what they say. And what does it say about the fruit of the Spirit? Let me jump to Galatians chapter 5, 22 to 24. Okay? And it says here, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. I want you to think about that really quick. Okay? So the fruit of the Holy Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering. That's actually patience. Gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. And also, another fruit is crucifying the flesh with the affections and lusts. That's in verse 24. These are the list that God has given. Biblical. Now, God does give. He does give, right? He does give other gifts, but those are not specific signs that you have the Holy Spirit. This list is, because these will naturally flow out from you as your heart is being converted, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 12, and we're going to take a look at verse 28, that there are different gifts among believers. So let's go to 1 Corinthians. It has set some in the church. First, apostles. Secondarily, prophets. Third, teachers. After that, miracles. Then, gifts of healings, helps, governments, diversities of tongues. Now, I want you to notice that. It's last on the list. So why would we make this the pivotal sign that you have the Holy Spirit? Okay? To say that we don't speak in tongues, we don't have the Holy Spirit, is actually foolishness. It's not biblical. And if you read the order of the gifts, you see that the gift of tongues is on the bottom. Paul confirms that we do not all have the same gifts. Yet Paul shows us that there's actually a more excellent way, which is the true fruit, and we find that to be love. And we're chapter 14, verse 33. You could have any gift, but if you do not have love, those gifts are useless. The sign of the Holy Spirit is the fruit, and God is not the author of confusion. That's the speaking in this unknown tongue, this ecstatic tongue, which is often referred to as gibberish. The official name, remember, is glossolalia. You can look that up. Only started spreading throughout the churches in the 1900s with a movement called the charismatic movement. Charismatic. It's based upon deception, not truth. More and more people are basing their faith upon feelings, which goes along with the speaking of tongues, rather than a plain, thus saith the Lord. But let's go back in time to where tongues is first mentioned. Can you guess where that's at? In Babel, Genesis chapter 10. Let's look. Speaking of the generations of the sons of Noah, by these, the sons of Noah, were the islands of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families in their nations. What is the tongue? It's clearly a language.